How are you, everyone? Now, you might have a lot of people saying to you, Islam's not a problem in Australia, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, we know the Buddhist population is much higher in this country than the Islamic population. But I want to point out a few things. Maybe you can show some people to wake them up and let them really know what's going on. A lot of people don't know about what I'm about to talk about, but doing your research, you find a few things. Now, as you know, the Bali bombings, 88 Australians were killed when they were blown to pieces in Bali. 7 Islamists attempted to blow up the MCG on Grand Final day. Luckily, ASIO stopped them. If they had succeeded in blowing up the grandstand where everyone was sitting, and it would have caved in, that would have killed 80,000 Australians. We had the Martin Place siege. 2 Australians were killed. The government let Man Monis out on 43 charges on parole. The guy that did that. 43 charges. We had the 2012 Muslim riots where a police officer was bricked in the head. Police cars were smashed. They went crazy. All over a video that was made in America. Not in Australia. In America. There was a guy named Muhammad in Sydney. He was exposed for rorting Centrelink big time. He was receiving welfare. He also had 4 wives. 2 were pregnant. He had them all living in separate houses. That way they could claim the single mother's pension. But because the man controls the finances in Islam, he was collecting not only his own welfare, but 4 other lots of welfare every payday. He was making a fortune. An ISIS flag went up for auction at Liverpool Mosque in Sydney. In front of the whole mosque, not just 1 or 2 Muslims, the whole mosque. That flag ended up auctioning for $3,000 when the hammer went down. It sold for $3 grand. Lakemba Mosque put a fatwa on Christmas in 2012, right? A fatwa on Christmas in a country where Christmas is part of our culture. The Grand Mufti of Australia, Tajuddin Halaili, says Aussie women who get raped deserve it because they are uncovered meat. Now, let's talk about boats that the Labor government let in. On one of those boats was an Islamic person by the name of Ali Jafari. He got citizenship into Australia, down in Victoria. He was caught trying to kidnap a 4-year-old girl from Play Equipment. When he was arrested, he said it was his right to take her as a child bride and rape her because it says so in the Quran. Another Pakistani Islamist, also one of the ones Labor let in, off the boat, got citizenship and was caught at Sydney Olympic pools fondling 7 kids in half an hour. 7 kids. He also said it was his right to touch them up because it says so in the Quran. Islamic P-plater Carnita Matthews calling our police racist when she was pulled over and asked to show her face for ID so the officer could prove it was her on her driver's license. She sat there and called him a racist and it went to court. The judge threw it out because he said he couldn't recognise it was her because of her wearing the niqab. The gang Broady Boys terrorising Broadmeadows in Melbourne, saying that their targets are Asians, Indians and white Australians because they're not Islamic, and if you're walking around having a drink making noise, you are a target. In Adelaide, a Muslim girl was kidnapped and beheaded by her own father and brother because she converted to Christianity. They beheaded her, chopped her into pieces, put her in a suitcase and buried her in the backyard. It was luckily a neighbour saw it and thought, that's a bit strange, what are they burying there? Called police, police dug it up, and it was the chopped up remains of their own daughter. Absolutely disgusting. It is time to wake up. Reclaim Australia on April the 4th is coming. And all this is not going to spread through Australia because we are going to say no to it. I'm the Great Aussie Patriot and thank you for listening to me. Have a good day.